Welcome to class lecture. Today we'll start a new topic. It's basically on the data warehouse. A new chapter of the advanced database is a topic of advanced database basically. So we are so far learned about the what is a database, what database exactly work, how a database can be designed, and how database can be implemented, and the other things of the transaction and how a index can be happen, and the data sorting policy of B+3 and B3, these sort of things. Now we want to learn about some advanced topic like decision support system. Why database is so much famous nowadays, why database is so much robust nowadays? Because of its decision support system. Suppose like in a business decision, that which item you need to be stock. Suppose like whenever you think that it's a situation of a country lockdown, so the superstore which is in the lockdown zone, which product it will stock first, and how the customer is using some software like Android software freemium based, how you can charge him in to buy a premium version, how you can choose your customer range of sending some advertisement. Suppose like you are using Facebook, in some your page you were notified by some restaurant, some place of amusement, this sort of advertisement you are seeing. Whereas a job holder who having a very good job, he will see some ads of different type of product buying like land buying or car buying and these sort of ads. So, and some people who have a age of 50 years, he will see the advertisement of investment policy, these sort of things. So different person is showing different type of advertisement. This is doing some the decision support system of the data analysis. So we are doing a lot of data transaction day by day in a bank, in a online store, and these sort of profiles. So customer having some different profiles have different information. From that system analytics, we can say different decisions arena that it will reflect the decision making system. So decision support system, if we see the overview, there are mainly 4 points of the decision support system. That is, first, the data analysis. We have to first analyze the data in different sort of criteria, that how a customer can be react, which products a customer is buying frequently. If a customer order a noodles, probably he also may order a sauce. If a customer is buying some cheese, he also buying some products to make pizza. So these are the data analysis, that how a customer is somehow behave. In the statistical analysis, this is a analyzing field of statistics of finding out the probability, that how many people are involved of buying these sort of products from this area, or which of the things. Suppose like some people looking some trend that whenever the lockdown is happen some area, people are trying to get the necessary product fast. They will collect the rice, flour, meat, sugar, these sort of daily needs, or they will want to stock the baby products. So this is the statistical analysis of the previous data, that people are behave like that. So in the data mining process, it is basically discovered the knowledge automatically from the statistical rule, that you have to find out some rule that in previous year in this situation what people are doing. So in your mining pattern, you can follow some rules, that you can collect the data, you can collect the result by some rules, that is called the data mining. And data warehouse is basically that you are not getting all the data from the same source. So you have a multiple source or different type of heterogeneous source of data. So from the different source of data, you have to accumulate the data in a single space. That should not be in the real life data, because if you want to make the operation in real life data, that have a big impact and you cannot take the decision on the spot. So it will a separated database from the main database, and it will have a different view of reporting, a different view of purpose to show you the final decision of the total system. So in a data mining, it's a buzzword nowadays. If you want to go for a higher studies, if you want to go for a logistical department or a big company, suppose like an mobile operator, how they are doing the offer of this bundle. There's you can buy this minute and these GB of internet in this price. How can they are doing these things? So they are doing these things by some prediction of back analysis, that how people are react, which package is people want to buy more, and what is the customer behavior of buying these things. So that is why they are designing their package about 3 days, 7 days, 1 month and 15 days, or a day package, or some premium package like you can buy 1 GB of internet and you can free use the Facebook in 7 days in this rate. So these are the different type of prediction they are making and following the pattern of the customer behavior. So this is how the prediction is making for the data mining. Now another thing is the classification. How the prediction can be happen is the classification of the user class. So there are different class of people, different class of customer, different class of data. You have to classify first, and then you have to regression formula. You have to apply some regression formula that given some set of mapping, that is the unknown function, that you do not know what will happen in the future, but you have to predict. You can predict from the previous data. So this is how the regression is happening, and this regression thing is doing some extend version of the data mining system. So data warehouse is basically a place where all the data will be accumulated, where all the data will be stored, but it is separated, it is segregated from the real life data. It's a real-time data. So a data warehouse is a subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant and non-volatile collection of a data in a support of management decision-making process. So it is W.H. Inamon is the giving the definition of this data warehouse. So data warehouse, that is mean it having some solid platform which have a combination of data structure, it having some combination of algorithms and these sort of things, and also some SQLs, and most importantly thing is it is separated from the main database. So that is the data warehouse. So another thing is the data. So we are getting here the 4 keywords: subject oriented, integrated, term variant and non-volatile. What are these exactly means? So if we want to see the subject oriented, what is subject oriented mean? If you want to work with some sales data, if you want to do some work on a super shop, you have to know the data of the customer, data of the products and data of the sales. So which products of your company are sells most, which products are not selling selling good, why they are not selling good. So you can think that suppose sometimes you see that if you want to buy a Coke or drinks, you can get a chips. So chips is not going with this Coke, but people nature what that people are like to take the snacks, chips or biscuits with the or cookies with the Cokes. So if I want to make a package that if you buy this Coke, you will get the chips free. So that is how we can deal the product. If the customer is like that chips on the lower price, so that can be a promotional activity. So that is the subject oriented thing. Integrated market is basically integrated thing is when all the data construction and the heterogeneous data source, because suppose you are doing some operation for a new supermarket, suppose like a new supermarket is going on and you are the data analyst for them. So you have to take data from the other sources, other companies, but all the data are not in the same format. So these are called the heterogeneous data. So you have to combine all this data. So all the data, all the columns names, all the fields names or the tables names will not be same. You have to arrange this data. Or you are suppose like you want to analyze the fertilizer for the crops. So different data set you are find in the online, but you have to accumulate these things. That is called the integrated. So next thing is the time variant. So for the analysis of any data mining or decision support system, you have to take data from the long sense. Suppose a crop when a crop is doing good, if you find one to the nature of, if you invent a new genome of some crops, so you have to go for a previous background of 5 to 10 years of the previous crop. Suppose like you have invented a new type of vegetable gene that is can be suppose like a vegetable like capsicum. It is basically happen in the country of where their temperature is lower, colder. But if you want to grow this capsicum in the hot temperature, you have to make some new things. So how can you control your temperature, your cultivation way? So that is how you can get good products or reasonable products from there, output from there. So you have to take a long sense of data. It is called the time variant. Now the last thing is the non-volatile. So the thing I have mentioned in earlier, that the data warehouse should be separate from the data operational environment. That is, the live data will not interact with the of the mining data. So you have to totally segregated the data which you are taking the operation, which is not live. So that is the non-volatile data. Because if you want to operate the data mining operation in the operational server, it can be happen a disaster. So you cannot do this. So why separated data warehouse? Why we are not doing the things of in real life? Because DBMS, database management system, is a online transaction processing system. So that is the having some methods of data indexing, concurrency control, recovery system, and these sort of things. And data warehouse is a totally having some complex queries which may have the multidimensional view and consolidation. So it having the different view of data. Suppose like you want to see that which peoples are buying movie ticket most. So you have found a data that movie tickets are sold the people of age of 16 to 30. These peoples are like to buy the movie tickets. So if you introduce a movie, if you want to introduce in a movie place, if what food you can want to initiate, so which food can be initiated. So for this you have to have a multidimensional view of the customer nature. So you have to embed the data from the other sources, from the restaurant data. So you have to collect the restaurant data. In the restaurant, the people age of 16 to 30, which foods they are like to buy, and you also make this data with this. Now the thing is that if the people you are taking the data, suppose like Chilox or takeout, you will find the data that people of 16 to 30 are like to buy burgers, but their burger is full of sauces which can not feasible for the cinema hall, because this sauce will make some dirty in the handles and the chairs of the Cineplex. So that is not good for the Cineplex management system. So that is how the multidimensional view is considered for the data warehouse. But you cannot do this operation in the restaurant data and the Cineplex data in the real life. That is, Cineplex data, Cineplex ticket is selling out and you are doing operation on the same database. So it is should not be, because of there should be different type of missing data. Why the data is missing there? What is happening there? Because people are not giving all the data all the time. They are not like to give this. Suppose in a restaurant, if you are requested to give your name, your phone number, your email for feedback, you can ignore it. I don't like to give the feedback. So how they are missing your data? So these data cannot be sorted with the real life data. So data can be missing. So which data are missing? We are not taking this data. Okay, so data Consolidation is basically the aggregation and summarization of different sources of data and data quality. So you may have a very good data set from the online, but you have found that this data set can be biased. This data set can be biased. So the data quality is a factor, because you have to work on the data which can be trusted. So in a data warehouse, if we want to see a data warehouse perfectly, so what is happening here in a data warehouse? So in a data warehouse, it is having the data sources, different sources of data. It's come to the data loaders, and it is comes in the DBMS, that is the database management system, and you will perform some query analysis and tools from for the advanced queries. So from the tables and spreadsheet of the data to cubes. So in the database and the Excel sheet, you will basically use the tables and spreadsheets, and these data are come to a data cube. So what is a data cube? Basically, data cubes is basically the data which are format from the different source of data and make some different thinkable view. Suppose like here the data are comes from the table, it's called the dimension table, and the data which are measured the dimension table, it called the fact table. So there are two types of table in the data warehouse. So if you are looking for a cuboid, so that is the cube, all the data are here. From there it is segregated is 1D cuboid, and from there 2D cuboid, and this is how the data will be splitted in different cuboids. So in the conceptual modeling, if we say the data warehouse, there are three conceptual model, that is the star schema, snowflake schema, and the fact constellations. So in the star schema, that is mean basically we have some diagrams here. So there will be a fact table here. With the fact table, the other tables are connected, so it is called the star schema. So from the every table, the primary key will become in the fact table, and some other measuring unit, that how we will recalculate the data of the fact table. So it is called the measuring unit. It is the star schema. In the snowflake schema, there is a it is the extended version of a star schema. Here the tables will be segregated or extended in another sub tables. So it is called the snowflake schema. And in the fact constellation table, it having more than one fact table in a same schema. So that is how tables are connected with different fact tables for their data, and this is how the data warehouse design is happening. So the multidimensional data is like that. So you can there are some data of the product, location, and time. So this is the product in the y-axis, and this is the months of data in the x-axis, and the z-axis there is the region, that which region is doing good or bad. So this is if you see the cuboid in different look, so that is the products, that is VCR, PC, and TV, and this is the time variant of the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, and these are the countries. So this is how the total data warehouse and data warehouse management is happening. So thank you for watching this lecture.